Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome to Week 10 podcast. I'm Sam, and with us we have Rob. How's it going, Rob?
That's good, Sam.
Good.
That's my well-timed opening of a beer. Let's roll.
Let's get right into it. Let's talk about the standings. A lot of activities this weekend. A lot of exciting things happening this weekend. Let's talk about Conference 1 here, Rob. Earth Division, the first division. El Oso Verde 6-2, Gang Green 4-4, Brady for Rent 3-5, and Kells 3-5.
Obviously Brady for Rent and Kells are out of it. Not out of it as far as the wild card goes. El Oso Verde came into that at 6-1, needs one win to basically wrap up the division, and kind of hit the wall here this week with one of those low scoring weeks that we'll all have. Gives Gang Green some hope of catching that. I mean, I'll have to pull through this weekend, get a win against a resurgent Brady for Rent team, and then I need El Oso to go down to Kells, and then I face them, I guess, in the last week. So, there's a pathway there for me. But it's more so, all things considered, more than likely he's going to win one of these next 2 weeks, probably against me next week if we actually even got there. If I just kind of turn to my right, Christian McCaffrey's out for like 3 more weeks. And if I turn to my left, Tyler Lockett's out with a broken knee or George Kittle. So, it is what it is. But, he's headed to the playoffs. I think he's basically in, but when we jump over there to Division 2, which I'm kind of, over to the wind division there. I mean, I'm kind of jumping ahead now. This is where it gets really interesting because that's a 3-man race there, and you played Autumn Wind last week, right? And you got the win there, which kind of brought him down. Tay got a win, moves up into first place there with the 12:05. And obviously Tay and Autumn Wind have to play each other here. So they both are going to, both of them are going to end up playing. Well, you'll play Broom Maniacs as well. Autumn Wind here still to go. So, that's wide open.
Wide open over there.
I don't know if you can sneak into it, Sam. Your points are kind of low and you're a game back. And I mean, especially with one of those two teams having to play each other they'll get a win out of it. But you definitely can squeeze into the wild card. But at the same time, so can Brady for Rent and Kells. They're if they can go on a 2-game winning streak and they get a little luck from the, because I don't know about you, Sam, but I feel that I'm fully capable of going 0-2 to finish out the season. So
anything can happen.
I could go 2-0, but I think I'm more likely to go 0-2. So
it's possible. Hey, as long as, like I said, mathematically eliminated from this conference is probably just Bruins, right? Like you said, Kells and Brady for Rent are still technically in it.
Oh, well, yeah. No, no, they're not for the division. They're done with the division, but they're 100% in it for the wild card. And, they're going to need some help, obviously. We'll probably be, but, obviously I need Kells and, Nolan needs Brady for Rent to keep rolling on it. So, let's keep it going, guys. Let's keep the league rolling here. Yep. So it's a short season. We still got all the awards out there. So,
Yes. Let's go over to the next conference, Fire Division, Big Revis, 5-3, Heart Foundation, 5-3, High Rollers, 4-4, and Degenerate Bastard, 2-6.
Obviously, we've been talking about Big Revis and Heart Foundation for a while here. High Rollers finally gets a loss this week, but he had been mighty resurgent. So he is definitely in that mix there. Degenerate, it's, he'll play it to the ending. We know that. And by the way, I hope everybody does when you listen to this. Because I hate to have to make this speech every year, but it doesn't take that much to, click in and keep a comparable team out there. Yeah. So everybody keep rolling with it. I understand circumstances. So it's, just keep on rolling to the end. But in this one, you got Big Revis and Heart Foundation rolling, but the High Rollers, it seems like he's been really, really hot lately. And he took a beat this week, but, we'll see. I think that's wide open there.
And let's go over to the next division, which is very exciting, folks. 4-4 across the board.
Yeah, I don't think you can go. I mean, I don't think you can say that if you beat retired 4-4 going down to the ending here, right? I mean, my lord, you got straight LA, and at the top at 1171 with a 3-point whopping lead over Wolfpack, and how the hell is System Twister still in this mess? I mean, I'm texting him this week, and he's all, I could have wrapped up the division with a win. I was like, really? It doesn't seem like he ever wins. My bad, I'm still stuck on that David Johnson start. So it's, and Savs, of course, let the league know that he was just, the Nick Chubb decided to slide down, not because it would have made a difference in the game or anything, or run the clock out, or, Houston had any chance coming back. I think just simply because they wanted to go home because it was cold and rainy. So,
so very exciting, folks. I mean, we're just about everybody is still in it. So, so hit those waiver wires tomorrow,
And we got awards. We got lots and lots of awards.
Yes.
And remember, you can be taking them from Gangrene.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get started right away into our matchups. Let's start with our conference, Brady for Rent versus El Oso Verde, two of the youngest guys in our leagues. Not too exciting. 111-70.
Yeah, they managed to outscore their age. So that's about all we had going there.
Nothing. Yeah, I'm just looking at nothing. Nothing much.
Yeah. No one had a higher efficiency rating at 72.9 than Brady's 65.3. I mean, basically, this was, 111 is not going to get it done too many weeks. He had a nice performance out of his running backs. He had awful performances out of his quarterbacks. We'll just go ahead and say that the Russell Wilson MVP train is derailed at this point.
Yes.
He's just a turnover machine now.
Yeah.
So
what's that? 2
and
games?
I know it was like 3 out of the last 4, man. Oh. And so and the thing with Wilson is everybody will blame it on every single thing except for Wilson. It's the line, it's the receivers, it's his lack of running backs. It's Russell Wilson. So El Oso Verde, we'll talk about you again. 70 points. We're not going to talk about you. So
yeah. Well, let's go over to the next matchup: Gangrene versus Kels. A good performance from your team. 164.
The good news is, Sam, that this is a digital world, and I have unlimited time to talk about the greatness that is Gangrene this week. So, unfortunately, my dinner's going to be ready lately, so I have to spare everybody the gory details. But Tom Brady, back in what he ended up at 44, after his -3 last week. So, I mean, this is what we're looking for, consistency out of your players here. So, he went like 60, -3, 44. So, James Conner, boy, that Pittsburgh running defense, and DeAndre Hopkins, that was kind of sweet. But then on the flip side, I was playing a very good competitor over there in Kells. And so he's got Kyler Murray who threw that ball. So, he's a tough game. Let's just put it this way. Kells has had a very, very nice week. I believe his son caught the first touchdown of his very young collegiate career out in Utah, a 71-yarder. And then he got named the collegiate player, our Mountain West or whoever we are now. It's skipping me. Freshman of the week, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
And then he went ahead and won my football pool that he plays in too. So, I mean, you got to give a brother a little bit over here. I mean, my God, I appreciate him playing down in that game and only putting up 125 on me. So it's, so he's kudos most definitely to his son Josh on that. That's really awesome.
Yes,
so
yes.
It's that's a good deal, man.
Yep.
So that being said, I needed to win. I got to win.
Yep.
And that's all we're going to talk about me. So, and in the course of that game, also, I think 4 more guys got injured. So there we go.
All right, let's go to our next matchup: the Bag or the Bat versus Bruins Maniac. A win that the Bag or the Bat needed, and he came through 161-77.
Yeah, so it was a tough week for Bernie on his team there. So kudos to the bag of the bat, and he rolled right on through. 161's going to get it done, even if he had, it's going to get it done pretty much against everybody, except for, of course, as we mentioned, D Gangrene. So so yeah, bag of the bat is he's rolling here. He's doing it. Josh Allen keeps kind of going, and. Kamara's looking nice. You almost don't even know if Drew Brees going out's really going to affect Alvin Kamara at all. I mean, I do like that Jameis Winston came in and almost immediately threw an interception to a linebacker, but that's what Jameis does, So
wait, can you explain to me? I thought Tyson, he's not the backup. Yeah, I guess he's not the backup.
Well, Taysom Hill, no, he's. I think he's the backup too. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of funny. He's the guy that they bring in to throw balls over 20 yards now. So, for Drew Brees. So, Drew Brees. I used to say, I can never think of one time that Drew Brees cost a team a game, but. It's over, man. I mean, it's kind of sad to watch the guy try to jump and throw, over people to get the ball like 8 feet anymore. It's bad. And we all remember how bad, Peyton Manning looked there at the end of his career. So, or like say Tom Brady 2 weeks ago. So, back of the bat. He just kind of keeps running guys, different teams out there. I guess there's some consistency to it a little bit. I mean, I doubt he would claim this is his best team ever, but it's certainly not his worst, and he's doing what he always does. He's finding a way to stay competitive. 161 this week, 91% efficiency rating out of that. He came in big time, so yeah, and he took out a great player in Burn Maniacs this week, who has been a great friend of the league. So let's move on there, Sam.
Let's go on to my matchup, Ninja Assassin versus Autumn Wind. I did not think I was going to win this game whatsoever, even after the afternoon games on Sunday, but somehow I pulled it off from the strong arm of Ben Roethlisberger, 43 points, and Antonio Gibson, who finally showed up for me. But yeah, the Autumn Wind, I mean, he was scaring me, like I text you Monday night, dude. I was like, dude, this Monday night game is stressing me out with Chicago Bears defense, playing lights out, Dalvin Cook, you never know what happened with, like what he can do. And so I was nervous there, Rob. I was nervous.
Yeah, no, let's be real. This is what we call a cheap win. 122 is getting it done, but you were having to go without, and you were having to go out without some of your big dogs out there. I mean, Mahomes obviously on bye and Gurley on bye, and Mike Evans on your bench for unknown reasons. But, it's in with T. Higgins from Cincinnati, who actually was pretty good.
Yeah.
Dude, now we'll get to Autumn Wind here in 1 second, but dude, you actually started Antonio Brown over Mike Evans. I mean, what the hell is that about? It was a
toss-up, Rob. I promise. I was like, I didn't want to start two Tampa Bay receivers.
Yeah, no, it's not a toss-up, dude. I mean, Antonio Brown's been on the team for one game prior to this, and hasn't played in 2 years. And you left Mike Evans, the 70-yard touchdown animal, on the bench.
Yeah.
Wow, man. This game, okay, so that's some extremely questionable roster movement. Now, I look over on the other side. I mean, dude, you got to be, he's got good wide receivers if you're going to leave Adam Thielen sitting out there and DJ Moore. This is one of those situations where his bench damn near outscored his starters.
Wow.
Usually I would get on him because, roster management, to be honest with you, it's looks. I don't know. DK Metcalf. How do you leave him on the bench? But going up against the Rams, maybe you roll Thielen in there. It's easy. I'm sure he's asking himself all these questions. Allen Robinson, you never start in a game ever if you have Adam Thielen on your team. But it's he's got a lot of talent. This team is really deep, and it's just when you have deep teams like that, and we've all been there. it's sometimes you're gonna mess up a little bit with your starters. So I mean, I'm a big proponent of filling in. If anybody's ever noticed, I hate to give away my secrets for guys that have been playing the league with me for like 20 years. I'm a big proponent of skill position guys and trying to get depth there. And then every now and again, you get so much of it that you're just like, I don't know, they're all good matchups, and you screw up sometimes. So it's just one of those weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And God, though, I mean, if I'm him, though, I'm looking at I mean, immediately it all just stands out, all these double digits right there. He did do good in his second week in a row, not starting Zeke, though. I mean, which I tell him all the time, don't start Zeke, you'll win a championship. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. Let's go over to the next conference.
Cowboys were on bye.
Let's go to the next conference. Big Revis versus High Rollers, 171 to 152. Some high scoring games over here on this side.
And again, I should do my homework and actually figure out if this is going to be the bad beat of the year. I don't know. I don't think 152 is going to get it done. I don't know. It seems like, and I promise everybody that I will actually go through and look this up before the end of the year. Now, I love the bad beat. I think it's a great award, but it's like damn near impossible to keep track of. The large margin of victory, if your game green's really easy, you got like 154, because I'm awesome, but we all know that. So, Big Revis, dude, welcome back, my man. Big Revis, dude, he's a diesel truck driving down the road. High Rollers have been pretty hot, and he ran right into this mess, man. I mean, you could say it's quarterbacks, but he only ran one quarterback out there, put 171 up. Had Patrick Mahomes sitting over on the bench. So, and the Todd Gurley, Amari Cooper, nobody cares about. But I mean, at this point, I do believe we have a contender here. So this is not a team you want to play. My God, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes on the right week as we go forward into the playoffs, playing in domes for warm weather. It could get ugly. So Stephon Diggs, man, he's had a nice season, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just Kamara. It's crazy. High Rollers again, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson. Watson, I'm a little surprised with. I mean, that guy's a great player. And I mean, he really is. And I'm not sure where his stats are this year. And he's dealing with this James Conner catastrophe like I am too. So it's, I don't know what Pittsburgh. Let's just put it this way: if Pittsburgh cannot run the ball against the Dallas Cowboys and Cincinnati Bengals, the Pittsburgh Steelers cannot run the ball, and I think that's pretty obvious. Devontae had a down week, wasn't enough. He still came in with 152.
Yeah,
and nothing's really that exciting about it. But man, Josh Jacobs, I mean, this is a team too, man. I'm telling you. Don't sleep on High Rollers, but Big Revis, dude, he's the man.
Yep. Let's go to our next matchup: the Hart Foundation versus Degenerate Bastard, 119 to 96.
Seriously, we get the Brother Bowl, this year twice, I think it is, and this game blew. I mean, I expect a lot more out of these guys. I mean, I figure Michael is playing for his season here. And he comes in with 96. So, outside of him blowing up, knocking somebody out of the playoffs, it's going to be one of the last times we talk about his team here. So, yeah, it just was not a good week, man. Matt Ryan, he just didn't have it. He just, and honestly, let's just go ahead and point out again the greatness of Gang Green, because there's only been 1 2-time in a row champion, and that is Gang Green. So, pretty awesome, man. So pretty hard to do. Just kind of proving it this year,
where did that come from? What enticed,
back-to-back champions?
What enticed
What
enticed you to bring that up?
Oh, well, I'm always willing to talk about Gang Green's past triumphs, man. I mean, so as I'd like to point out that Degenerate Bastards, last year's champion, and Sam, he still wants to know where his trophy is. You can't just make those trophies a couple of years, and then everybody's like, "Where's my trophy?" And I'm like, "Tell Sam, I can't do anything."
I got bored.
Yeah, that's what he wants to hear. Sorry, Michael, he got bored.
I got bored.
During COVID, Sam doesn't have enough time, on his hands, to do this shit. So anyway, yeah. So repeating as a champion is damn near impossible. So
yes,
only been done once by yours truly here. So again, all hail Gang Green. Hart Foundation. I don't know, man. You're in a dogfight with with the Revis. I probably owe you better than blabbering on about something that occurred 15 years ago or something. So, nice week. You beat your brother with 119. That was good. Michael did, however, come in. I'd like to point out 100% efficiency rating, meaning that this was just a turd that he couldn't shine over. So there we go.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to our next matchup, Sister Twister versus Wolfpack. And not very exciting, 100 to 110. Is this what you expected out of their matchup, Rob?
Oh, dude, this is what I expect out of these two guys. I mean, we're talking. I mean, we had Scott and Todd here. I mean, Scott, who's just infinitely believing that his team is going to score 300 every single week. And you're like, dude, I mean, Dak Boss was going to get you over the 300 mark this week, right? So, in Wolfpack, I mean, this is like what happens if two mules are dying next to one another. And it's just, one of them's going to outlive the other. It was the coughing old mule match here, man. I mean, I don't know. Todd's got a good team. I mean, you got to love those running backs with Dalvin Cook and Aaron Jones. I mean, I spent a good part of Sunday arguing with Nolan that Aaron Jones is obviously hurt. No, he's not. He's playing. I go, yeah, you can tell by the fact he's not playing very often. I don't know. It's Roethlisberger and Carson Wentz, so got a monopoly on Pennsylvania quarterbacks as we head into December. That should work well down the line for him. And then he has Sister Twister. He's got Drew Brees, who's now like probably on IR, and two times dancing with Jared Goff. As I pointed out, that's Jared Goff is just fantasy death, man.
Well, for Scott, he has DeAndre Hopkins. Did you watch that catch? Oh my God, that was one of the best plays.
I will have to admit that I was over at a dazzling birthday party, trying not to get the COVID, and I had come home and I went on a bicycle ride at 4:00 because outside of trying not to get the COVID, I'm trying not to get the heart attack. So I'm trying to get some of this fat ass off me from the COVID that's set in. So I was riding my bike, but I did stop over on the campus of a local high school where I was, which I like to ride around as part of my ride. And I checked the score and I saw that my score had jumped. And so I got home and I heard the story 3 times. First from my son, then my wife, then my other son. So, yeah, it was quite a catch, man. It was amazing. Okay, the catch, let's just clarify that. The catch was awesome. And DeAndre Hopkins was great. But, I mean, I'll tell you what, I've been kind of on the fence on Kyler Murray, but the more and more and more I watch this guy play, the more and more and more I go, okay, this kid's pretty damn good, dude.
Yeah.
That throw was I mean, I know it's a Hail Mary, but, dude, that's a spectacular throw he made. I mean, he went across, weak side, turns around, and so he's not throwing at 100%. He's not as big as Mahomes. He's not got the arm strength that he does, but, dude, he's not – he's that coach I'm not sure about, but I think Murray might make it, man. He's a pretty nice-looking player.
Yeah, I mean, he's very, very good this season. And last season he was good too, but this season he's really come into form, so –
Well, yeah, and he's, the funniest thing about Arizona is they do seem to get better as the game goes on, and that includes coaching. Their games are quite entertaining. So, obviously I saw the replay. Great play. Helped out a lot of us out on points, and Arizona's pretty relevant when it comes to fantasy, at least if you have, Christian Kirk's not too bad.
Yeah, Christian Kirk didn't get anything this week. I don't know who else he threw it to, but yeah. Speaking of, Christian Kirk. Let's go to the next matchup: Straight LA Kings versus Savs, and Savs does have Christian Kirk, 2 points. 123 to 119. Very, very close game.
Yeah. Now this is a bad beat, but we don't get bad beats for middling 120 scores. It's. I mean, if the weather in various parts of California can get over your score, you don't get the bad beat. So it's. Yeah, straight LA. These guys, they're part of that. I mean, they're both playoff contenders. So Wilson, the 5. Yeah, you're hoping for better as it goes forward. He does play Arizona tomorrow night, and a Thursday night game that looks pretty good, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, God, he left some points on the bench there too with Justin Jefferson, but yeah. Savs, I mean, obviously the Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
God, that's I mean, I got the all-time bad beat. I got beat on a Monday night to my longtime brother in this league, Burn Maniacs, who got me on a Monday Night Football on the New England Patriots on a freaking safety when Belichick punter. I mean, his punt team snapped the ball out of bounds, and he got me by 5. And I think it was like seriously like 167, 165 at that point, and that was the creation of the Bad Beat Award. So, we've all been there on things like that. I don't know if it gets any ugly, but Nick Chubb going down, like I said earlier, it is brutally cold in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean,
it's time to go home, man.
But they were up by what, 10 at that point? I mean,
yeah, he could have scored. He could have scored. Stats, but yeah, but it don't matter. Nick Chubb's going to get paid like a running back coming into a running back contract anyway. I'm sure the Cowboys will overpay him, for his down years. But yeah, I mean that was kind of I got to give him credit. He ran Tua out there who. I can't tell with Tua yet, but man, he sure made a nice play to a wide open receiver the other day. So he shows a little more arm strength than I thought he'd have. But
he's getting there.
I getting where? I mean, it's like his third game, but left-handed quarterbacks are so weird to watch, man. It's just it throws you when you first get adjusted to them. So, it really is. I mean, you hardly see him. It's like a left-handed catcher in baseball, man. You just, when you actually see one, you're like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
Straight LA, great game, man. He's staying alive, man.
Yeah.
Little tribute to John Travolta there. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining in on this podcast. Next week, we'll be joined by the Bag or the Bat, and I do plan to do a video podcast from the Bag or the Bat's house, and so make sure you tune into there next week. Don't forget to pay your dues here. It's coming up pretty close to the end of the season, that is, and yeah, hey, hit those waiver wires, folks. Tomorrow, everybody's still in it.
All right. I'm excited about the Bag of the Bat next week. That sounds like, Sam, you need to make that a Thanksgiving tradition. It's always fun when I get on the phone with him every on a rare occasion. So
yeah, for sure.
Looking forward to it.
For sure. And thanks for tuning in. Good luck, everybody.
Thanks, Sam.